Even the people who say they want the extraterrestrial landing, in reality the majority don't even know what they are talking about when they say they want the extraterrestrial landing. They don't know what they are talking about, and if they had to choose today, they would choose not to let them land, even those who they are like those who come, sometimes they come for a walk with us. So we asked, Space Brothers, show up. People who are convinced, I want to see them. And then when the spaceship lowers in altitude, they panic. But do you know the panic? The panic and they run away. Then maybe we hold them back, but the extraterrestrials leave immediately. As soon as they see they are afraid, they run away. The spaceships don't want to rape you, that is, if they say that you are afraid, they leave immediately. They can monitor your heart beats, your thoughts, your emotions, vital dynamics. They keep an eye on them as they approach, and so they understand what the situation is like. If they see that you really wanted to see them, but then when you see them, you are terrified, they leave, of course. And this has happened several times, dear friends. It has happened several times that people who are very convinced, then in front of the spacecraft, have been literally terrified. So let's imagine if these people who have UFOs on Facebook, if they had to choose today whether to decide to let them land extraterrestrials, in my opinion, they do not even know what they are talking about. Why do I say this? Because the Interstellar Confederation, that is, the laws of the Interstellar Confederation are supreme laws. They are prevailing laws. They are laws that would drastically change all our habits, or a very large part of our habits. A classic example is that there would not longer be private property. That is, instantly, no private property. The end. That alone is enough to scare away so many of the people who say they want the extraterrestrial landing. That they want, yes, why extraterrestrial societies? You have to live it. You are not capable, we are not capable. Their worlds are perfect, but it takes that kind of evolution to live in those worlds. Otherwise, you go crazy. Even just the level of their relationships, the tenor of their relationships, their management of emotionality, their capacity for interaction, for reciprocity, for us is something. It's like going up on Olympus. You go crazy. How do you do it? How do you do it? We who are used to being beasts. So the extraterrestrials land. I want to see you in front of the extraterrestrials landing. Or, for example, another thing that comes to mind is child management and education would change. It would be managed collectively. It's different. It's not like now, so the power that parents wield over their children today would be overturned completely. But how? That's my child. I carried him, I gave him birth to him, 9 months in my womb. His seed, he is the fruit of my seed, blood of my blood, flesh of my flesh. No, not at all. Yes, you were the instrument to bring into the world a body where a being lives that does not belong to you. And if this being is to live in a super civilization, it must be educated by the community in a way that you alone cannot manage. Not even the family, even families would be different, extended families. That is, guys, we are not yet able to manage that level of a relationship. That is, everything changes. You cannot decide how to bring up your child. That is, I give birth to him, he's mine. No, there is no such a thing. He's mine, he's my child, no way. I gave birth to him, and I don't have the right to bring him up as I please. No, you don't have it because it doesn't belong to you. That child belongs to society, and society, in order to be in harmony, must have a collectively shared education that goes in a certain direction. You cannot do as you please. You don't have the right. Of course, you have the right to contribute to his education, but you don't establish it, according to your own parameters of the moment. The education is established by the comparison, and you are okay with that? I don't know if it's okay with you. And you have to adapt. To adapt, you have to study, you have to understand that it is the best way to raise individuals capable of living in a super civilization with universal ethical values. But guys, instead here we want the sun, for example, to be our likeness, for example, that he supports our football team, Inter, Milan, Rome, Lazio, Naples, for God's sake. We want the children to obey us. We want them to follow the traditions. This will not be allowed in a super civilization. It's another vision, it's another story. So do you still want the extraterrestrial protectorate now? I already know that among the people listen up to after I talk about private property, after I talk about the education of children, and that's just two things, I might talk about money, and of the money. There is no money. After I say these few things, more than half of the people are already having second thoughts. But I still have a little something to do. No, maybe we can mediate, like the lady said, mediate. But you cannot mediate with the gods. To the gods, you either say yes or you go your way. Do you still want this extraterrestrial colony in Italy? Surely we have already thinned out the ranks of those who wanted them to land. I mean, even the diet would be different because today we are health conscious, but at the end of the day, we do what we want with food because you can go on a diet for 2 months and then you eat the chocolate from the Easter egg. There is no such a thing. Even the diet would be something collectively decided on the basis of the laws of the Confederation, which I repeat are positive laws. They are laws that serve to improve society, but we are not able to transpose them because we are still attached to the peak passions. I want to do as I like. But then the extraterrestrial women and men who are so incredibly beautiful that you are breathless if you see them because you lose your senses in front of the beauty. How can you have a relationship? Guys, it's crazy. The clothing, even the clothes. You don't dress as you like because it's all made in function. That is, you dress as you like, yes, but there is a community, social logic. You don't do as you like because I like for and then I wear for. I like that dress with those components. But if those components are made of plastic, for example, you won't have them, because plastic doesn't exist in the super civilization, something that can be disposed of in a natural way. That is, there will be the fiber of something else, so you already see that you can do what you like. By the way, the extraterrestrials in super civilizations all dress more or less the same with special clothes, sort of suits. That is to say, there are clothes functional to comfort. Guys, here on Earth, women still wear heels. That is, on planet Earth, women wear heels. I like heels. For God's sake, they make you look good, but they are not good for your health. And this is not a nice thing. That is, it can be an attractive thing. It can be something that you like because we have been taught that it's nice, because it makes you look good, because it slims you up your figure. But it's an instrument of torture. Goodness gracious. That is, it's not, but why do I have to say these things? I mean the heels, the makeup, the lipsticks, the things, but they are things that stimulate, that serve, they have been invented, or consciously or unconsciously, they have been invented by the terrestrial mentality that is primitive and therefore wants to sexually irritate the potential partner. Why do you wear lipstick? Because the lips in nature are rendered during the sexual act or during a moment of arousal, and therefore this greater blood flow that also reaches the lips and makes them redden, and therefore you reproduce the red in an artificial way of the lips, or the change of color of the lips in an artificial way stimulate in the potential partner the mental and therefore hormonal reaction, therefore attraction. I mean, maybe it's done in an unconscious way, I can say that, but it's primitive thing. In any case, that concerns that kind of relationship, okay? The, I don't know, the provocative clothes, these things, of course, on the planet 10 light years from Earth, the females dress provocatively to, let's say, not provocatively, how to say they dress in a way to highlight their female form for pleasure, but for the idea of beauty, not to sexually arouse the partner. I mean, guys, there's a difference. There is a difference, yes. So you see how things change. So relationships, everything changes. Even clothes, not to mention other things, change. You've all run away already. No extraterrestrials stay at home. Huh. Also, not to mention the absurdities that for example, the radio programs, the television programs that we have here on Earth, the video games, the movies, the TV series, but you all watch this TV series. You all watch. But for God's sake, read a book. Not to mention the sports, the billions of dollars spent on sports. That's the end of it. The luxury goods, the end of the party, the end of the circus, the end of the story. It's a different kind of society. Do you still want it? Do you still want this extraterrestrial landing? Are you sure? I think that 90% of the listeners are no longer so convinced. What about religions? Religions would blow up instantly. That is to say, other than parishes, catechisms, doctrines, umbrellas, various rituals. Here comes the science of the spirit and of the catechism. No more games, no more fairy tales, no more dogmas. Now it's getting serious. That is, the current religions would cease to exist. The current political system will cease to exist. The current economic system would cease to exist. Nothing, no more money, no more everything, the end. The end. The system blows up and another one is implanted. Do we really want that? You work for free. Nobody pays you. You don't get the money. You work for free a few hours, but you work for free for the good of society. The federal government, like the best communist utopias, the government provides everything. The government provides all the basic necessities, housing, clothes, transport, education, cultural goods, etc. Everything available to everyone, but nothing belongs to anyone. Not even the house is yours. Do you understand the extraterrestrial society? Do you want it? Not even the house is yours. Understood? Because you live for other reasons. You live to develop creativity, to acquire knowledge, to travel, to... Guys, you don't live to decorate your little house, to have your cat meow in bed at night and watch your TV series. It doesn't work like that, guys. This is some kind of absurd Western leisure while the world goes to ruin and we here in the opulent West drag it up and corrupt. We pretend that every 3 seconds a child doesn't die of hunger, and we go on like this. But it's a great madness, but it's a great illusion, and because we know it, it's a gigantic karmic accumulation, because it's a huge responsibility that will fall on our empty heads.